I think what's really, really cool about this sort of type of villain as well, in how it can influence or be used in tabletop RPGs, is if I were to use this villain, I would definitely start the way you mentioned. Give them something relatable first, because you can start off a campaign with them not being the villain yet, but have the players have some sort of part in either helping them or part in what it is that ultimately drives them away. So when they first meet and maybe interact with, talk with this villain, they're not a villain yet. So they could actually start to form a connection, maybe even potentially see them as being friends in some way, and then have the players over the course of the campaign, as Callie mentioned, either do things that kind of start to push the villain away, or they get to see as this villain is growing, and whether they have some influence there or not, remains up to both, I guess, the DM, the players, and the dice. But to go from the start to be like, we knew you before all of this isn't you, and then have to see them go down that road, I think can be very, very chef's kiss.
If you want to be really almost manipulative, you can set up a trolley problem for your players early on in the campaign, where whoever's on the side of the trolley problem that they sort of screw over,
Hmm.
you can be like, okay, I'm going to turn them into Magneto.
Yeah, yeah, or even if they do something bad, right? But maybe it's a little like it's close to that line of forgivable, unforgivable. But depending on how you do it or what it is, your players might be like, "We understand," like we get it, and maybe they like help them escape, right? Like imagine if you have your BBEG start off that way, the players help them escape, and then they turn out to be the BBEG. Then your players also have to wrestle with like, we could have stopped this, but ultimately, like we had a hand in making this happen.
One of the villains in the first Kickstarter that I ran, his name is Glurm. He's like a tiny little goblin who
Glur. Okay,
Glurm
I love it.
is like this anxious little guy who at the end of the adventure, people are like, "Oh, I kind of get it. He like murdered his dad to stop him from time traveling to erase me from existence." And then there's always like somebody else in the party who's like, "Wait, but didn't he also murder four more people to cover up his crimes?" And then they're like, "Wait, maybe he did something bad. Like maybe we can relate with that tiny little piece,
Yeah,
but maybe he's a bad guy."
yeah, yeah.